Hello and welcome back to Powered by Primus. Today we're going to be doing a double upload. This video here is going to be showing off more Wave 2 spoiled cards, and later on we're going to get back into some gameplay. So jumping right into it, first we're going to be talking about Stunticon Swagger. It is an upgrade utility with no battle icon cards. It says you can put on Stunticons only. Enemies can't use bold or tough against upgraded character. I think this card is going to be pretty awesome. There's really not a whole lot to talk about, seeing as how it's just going to be really beneficial to be able to put on any of your Stunticons. And then being able to obviously stop your opponent from using bold against you is going to be huge to really keep your characters alive, and then not being able to let your opponents use tough against the upgraded character is going to help you also KO that character. Coming in next for the Predacons is going to be Tooth and Claw. It has an orange battle icon. It is an upgrade utility, says put onto Predacons only. The upgraded character can have a weapon or armor in its armor slot and does give +1 attack. This card is going to be really good. First off, it has that orange battle icon, which is going to be nice. And then it just says that you can have a weapon or an armor in your armor slot. Now, granted, you can already have an armor in your armor slot. That doesn't really change it up. So it allows you to be able to put two weapons onto a Predacon. One thing that we do know is, if you do check out Predaking again, is that he's allowed to have up to 5 weapons on the character, so you're really going to try to be maximizing as many weapons on these characters. Now this next one I'm actually pretty excited for, and that is Electrified Spikes. It is an orange battle icon card. It is an upgrade armor and says put on Dinobots only. When the upgraded character defends and you flip at least 2 orange battle icon cards, you get to do 1 damage to the attacker, and it does give +1 armor. Now the best part about this card is that it does work for the current Dinobot deck that is out now that we play and that a lot of people play, and then it will be working for the new Dinobot deck coming out later on that's going to really benefit with Volcanicus. I do love because the current deck specifically runs heavy orange. We have lots of double orange battle icon cards, from Peace Through Tyranny and Improvised Shields, to also just running a bunch of orange battle icon cards in general, and being able to put this in that armor slot is going to be super nice, seeing as how we have very few armor pieces that run in that deck now, to where this is going to give you a little more armor, and then when your opponent does attack, you're going to be dealing 1 damage to the attacker because you're probably going to be proccing this thing quite often. And the final thing about this card that is super awesome is that it is an orange battle icon card. Most of the time when we do see these armors, other than things such as body armor, it does have a blue battle icon, but being able to be orange allows us to continue to help proccing this ability, even if you happen to flip a second one when you are going, and it also doesn't hold you back when it comes to attacking because of that orange battle icon again, still giving you that +1 armor and dealing more damage. Dinobots are going to absolutely love this card. Coming in next is going to be Leap of Faith. Leap of Faith is a white battle icon card. It is an action, and it says, scrap the top card of your deck. You may play that card. Then scrap another card from the top of your deck. You may play that card. Now this is a 1-star battle icon card. Again, your team and deck cannot go over 25 stars. So if you do want to be able to run this card, you have to make sure that once your team is put together, that you do have at least 1 remaining star to play this. And if you want to play multiple, then you have to have 1 additional star available in your team build to be able to put this in. I will tell you, however, I'm going to be trying to find lots of star space to be able to run this card in quite a few different decks. This card is going to be really good in the fact that it lets you play 2 cards for free. Now, the one thing to note is currently in Wave 1, there isn't many things that we can do to manipulate the top of our deck, but coming into Wave 2, we are going to be able to have the new mechanic called Plan, which allows us to stack the top of the deck to our choice. Now, even without stacking the top of your deck and playing just the top 2 cards is going to be really good, because obviously when it comes to building a deck, you're not really trying to put any cards that don't matter into the deck. It also doesn't specify whether or not it's an upgrade or an action, so no matter what you do indeed fact flip, as long as it does have an immediate reaction, you're going to want to play the card. Now, one thing to note is that you do have to match the requirement on the card if there is one. Let's just use Energon Axe for an example. You do get to play it off of Leap of Faith. However, if you don't have a damaged character, you do not play it, and then it is scrapped. Now, the next thing to note is that you do have the choice to play the card, but if you do not play the card, it does go into the scrap pile. You do not get the chance to put it into your hand or leave it on top. It does immediately get scrapped, so it's a use or don't use kind of a scenario. And finally, just a few characters that I can just name off the top of my head really quick. They're going to be able to benefit from this card are going to be things such as Shockwave. You're going to be able to use this and maybe really get to go off with Shockwave, throwing off a couple of system reboots or even a few more brainstorms and giving you just a lot of free actions. And if we're going to have anyone benefit from a lot of free actions, it's going to be Thundercracker, who does get +1 for each action that is played. And then finally coming in, a character that I'd never want to give too much more credit to, but will always do, is going to be Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend. Being able to attack with this, have Leap of Faith be one of the cards that shows, which also is going to be able to flip 2 more cards when it comes to him attacking. And then you're going to be able to play it, play the top 2, and then resolve the attack. It's going to be really powerful with Optimus. The next few cards that we're going to be showing off were spoiled over at theroarbots.com. I will link them down in the description below. Go ahead and check them out. They do have an article on these few cards as well. Now, this was a big shocker, and I'm super excited, but there is another blue card in Wave 2, and that's going to be Smelt. Smelt is a blue and green battle icon card, which is always nice. It is an action and says your opponent chooses one of their upgrades and scraps it. So what this is just going to be able to do is be able to play it against your opponent, and they'll have to choose one of their own upgrades to scrap. Now, if they do have 2, they do get to choose. However, if there's only 1, then that's the one that will indeed fact get scrapped. I do think that this is a pretty good card. I am a little upset that it doesn't allow you as the player to choose which one to up to scrap, but I do understand. This will be a good card, also including that it is a green battle icon card, allowing you to be able to get it after that combat resolve, so you will be playing this card for sure. The next card is going to be Scrounge. Now, Scrounge is an awesome card. It is an orange and a green battle icon. All of these cards are going to have that green battle icon to help you be able to actually get those cards, which is going to be super awesome and make them far more consistent of a card. It is an action card, and it says, scrap the top card of your deck. If it's an upgrade, you may play it. Now, there's quite a bit of cards that are going to be able to help make this better, and again, follow more of that consistency. One card that we're going to talk about specifically is going to be Incoming Transmission. That allows you to draw 2 and put 1 back on top. The other really cool part about that is that this card is going to pair really well with the Plan mechanic. Plan allows you to put a card on top of your deck if you wish, and then Scrounge is going to be able to let you play this card and then get that card for free. Now, currently, most of the cards that we have seen that have that plan mechanic are going to be on character cards, but once we get to the last card in this video, which I am extremely excited to talk to you guys about, it is a battle card that does have that plan mechanic. It seems like they are going pretty heavy in on the plan, so this card I feel like is actually going to be really good. Speaking of cards with the plan mechanic, we have Secret Dealings. It is a white and a green battle icon, again pushing that consistency. Great card. It is an action and it says draw a card, then plan 1. The really cool part about this card, and the reason why I feel like it's going to get a lot of play, is that it is indeed fact a white battle icon card. We do have other cards such as Incoming Transmission that do something similar, except they get to draw 2. However, this one isn't an orange, so it's not being forced to be played into those orange heavy decks, or if you are running a blue deck, you're not forced to have to run some random orange card. You get to run this one, which will allow you to flip 2 more additional cards when attacking or defending, depending on what your preference is in your deck. The next thing about this card that is kind of cool is that it is optional to plan 1. You do get to draw the card no matter what, which is really cool. So this essentially could just be cycling itself. So late game, if you are really trying to dig for that extra card or whatever else, or even early game looking for a piece to one of your puzzles, this card's going to be awesome. You are not required to plan. It is a may, so you don't have to. But if you are looking to stack the top of your deck right before you attack, or for another specific purpose, this will allow you to do that. The next card is Inverted. This card was originally spoiled over at vectorsigma.info. I will link their information in the description below. Definitely go check them out. They go into an entire article about this card specifically, so if you do want to see more about it, go check it out. Inverted is a white and a green battle icon card. It is an upgrade utility, and it has taken some lessons from Alice in Wonderland. It says when the upgraded character is battling, each orange you flip becomes a blue, and each blue you flip becomes an orange. Now, I would hope that the card's title would make far more sense now, seeing as how everything about this card becomes backwards. Now, it is an upgrade, so that character is the only one specifically that has to deal with the inverted flips, but what this could do is apply some really cool effects while in the game. Now let's say that you're running a heavy orange deck. This card is going to be allowed to be put into there, so when that character battles, which means on attack or on defense, is that your pips will flip. So now if you're attacking with a character that normally wouldn't do a whole lot of damage anyway, it's going to give those blue when attacking, so you're not going to be doing that damage anyway. However, when it comes to it defending, now all of those oranges that you flip, which again, if you're running a heavy orange list, are now all going to count as blues and help that character defend. I do think that this will be beneficial in some decks, especially when, again, there is a character that's just not quite pulling their weight on offense and or defense. You can put this on that character to really be able to push it over the top. The other part that's beneficial about this card is that if there is a character on your team lineup that you're preferring to keep alive or you're preferring to protect, again, on an orange list specifically, you can play this on there to help them give that armor when they are battling on defense. The same thing goes for a heavy blue deck. This card is going to be really awesome, and what I'm telling by most of the card is that it's going to be more of a late game card, whether you're trying to keep your character alive or trying to finish a character off. One thing that I'm personally excited for with this card is putting it onto my Demolisher in my heavy blue tank deck. It's going to be really fun to defend early game with that Demolisher and then be able to flip him to his robot mode, put this on there, and then now instead of attacking and flipping over possibly 7 to 8 blues, all of those blues are not going to count towards orange, and Demolisher is going to be getting in there for some damage. Now this next card that we're going to show off came out today, and this card is going to be an absolute staple. I am calling it now. It is going to be a fantastic card. Everybody's going to want it, and you're going to be able to put it into any deck, and this card is going to shine. The card is Mining Pick. It is an orange battle icon. It is an upgrade weapon and says when the upgraded character attacks, you get to plan 2. Again, you get to choose to put up to 2 cards from your hand on top of your deck. You can choose 0 as a number. When you put a card from your hand on top of your deck, the upgraded character gets +1 attack until end of turn, and this does give +1 attack. Now looking at the surface of this card, it sounds like a good card, but I'm going to tell you guys a couple of ways to really take advantage and break this card. Now the one thing that I do want to note about the card is the second ability on it. It does say when you put a card from your hand on top of your deck, the upgraded character will get +1 attack until end of turn. Now this does not say that you are required to plan in order to do the effect as long as you're putting a card on top, which means cards such as Datapad and Incoming Transmissions are going to be able to trigger that +1 until end of turn. Now let's say you are going the Datapad route, you go to attack, you get to draw 1 off of the Datapad, and then you get to put it back on top. This will trigger a +1 from the Mining Pick, and then you get to plan 2. Let's say you put 2 cards on top, and that'll give you +2 more attack with Mining Pick, giving it a total of +4 attack to the upgraded character. Now when you go to attack, the best thing about it is that you're going to be getting the same stats as a grenade launcher without having to lose it at the end of combat. Now, I'm sure you're like, oh, that's pretty cool, but you said we were going to break it, and all right, fine. Let's talk about a character that is going to maximize this card, and that's going to be Megatron Living Weapon. Now, Megatron Living Weapon has this special ability that says that you can have a weapon in each of his slots, meaning up to 3 of them going on. So imagine 3 mining picks on Megatron. Now, I know the chances of that are kind of slim, but if you've played with Megatron Living Weapon at all or you've watched our channel, it's definitely possible to get 3 weapons onto him. But let's just go with 2 for the example we're going to show. Now, first off, getting this card out is going to be far easier with Megatron Living Weapon, seeing as how once you flip over to his tank mode, you can pull a weapon from your scrap pile. So just in case you flipped it and it's in your scrap pile, this is going to be able to get it out. Another card that's going to be pretty awesome to be able to get it out is going to be Treasure Hunt, which is allow you to dig for and put all upgrades into your hand. Now the first thing that we'll do is we'll just show this ability with having 2 mining picks without playing any other upgrades or actions to be able to increase the number even higher. But even if you were just to have 2 mining picks on this Megatron Living Weapon, when he indeed fact goes to attack, you get to plan 2. So putting up to 2 cards, let's go with 2, onto the top of your deck is not only going to be able to trigger 1 mining pick, but it's going to trigger both mining picks. So for every 1 card you're going to put on top of your deck, you're going to get +2 attack, meaning that you're going to be getting +4 attack from the 2 mining picks, plus the 2 base that each of them are going to have, giving Megatron Living Weapon +6 attack, bringing him to a total of 13 attack when attacking without playing any other buffs. Now that's also doing the math without taking into account the cards that we did put on top of our deck. The deck list that I'm specifically going to be running with this card is going to be featuring 9 double orange battle icon cards. So it's going to be pretty easy to have 1 or even 2 of those into your hand to stack on top of your deck. So if you are flipping 2 double orange battle icon cards, which of course is going to be the dream, you're going to be hitting for 17 damage. Now that is a lot of damage, and that's enough to one-shot a lot of characters in this game. Now, a few other characters that are going to really be able to benefit from this is going to be Arcee. Arcee already has Pierce equal to her attack. Now, she normally has 1 attack, and then when you go to flip is where you kind of get a few more, so you always want to try to buffer to get an insane amount of Pierce damage. With Mining Pick, you're going to be able to do that. She'll have 2 base attack because of the +1 that this gives, and then you get to plan 2. Let's say you do plan 2, a couple of orange battle icon cards on top of the deck. She's going to get a +2 from that, bringing her to 4 before flips. Again, she does have Pierce equal to her attack, so if you happen to flip 2 to 4 orange battle icons before giving her any other perks such as Supercharge, she's going to be hitting for 6, Pierce 6, which is a crazy number and is going to take down a lot of people. The other character that I want to mention that's going to be really fun to use this on is going to be Mirage. Now the little bit of text that this says is it gives a +1 attack until end of turn. So if you happen to be able to get Mirage's ability to trigger to be able to get another attack within the same turn, it's going to be able to keep the +1. And then every time that the upgraded character attacks, you get to plan 2 more additional. Now the fun part with Mirage specifically and the plan 2 from this is that you can stack 2 white battle icons from your hand on top of your deck, almost guaranteeing that you're going to be able to trigger Mirage's ability. Now that's going to be super awesome just to be able to untap, but if you can plan it correctly when your opponent is all tapped down, again you're going to be able to attack twice with Mirage in the same turn, being able to trigger it, getting more plus attack for each time you plan, seeing as how you get to do it the first time, put 2 on top, he gets +3 attack, and then you get to attack again, put 2 more back on top, bringing him up to +5 attack from just the Mining Pick alone. And just when you thought we'd be done with this, I'm also going to talk about how good this card is in even heavy blue decks. The benefit to it is it does give you that +1 attack, which is super nice, but again, you get to do that plan 2. Now, it's going to be far less beneficial when it comes to attacking because you're running heavy blue, which isn't going to be able to really give you a bunch. However, as it does say that when you plan, you get to give plus attack to a character. So when you do get to attack, you get to plan 2, you're going to be giving that character +3 attack when normally it wouldn't be getting any bonus attack by flipping blues. This will at least turn those blues into oranges essentially because of its ability. The other part that could be really cool, again with the card that we previously showed, Inverted, putting that on the same character would be a whole lot of fun in a heavy blue list, seeing as how now those blues are going to count as oranges. So again, I think this card is going to be really powerful and it's going to be able to fit into almost any deck and shine. It's going to be a must-have, and I believe it's going to be a 3 of in a lot of decks out there. And lastly, guys, don't forget to head over to Top Deck TCG to check out their strategy, content, and pick up any singles that you guys don't have yet. Also, make sure you guys use our code Powered by Primus to receive 10% off your guys' total purchase. Hope you guys enjoyed this update, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.